Good evening. Well, the list keeps getting longer. Today, the Department of Correction announced 7 more violent criminals are being added to the list of prisoners scheduled to be released. That now brings the total to 27 inmates that could be freed in the coming weeks. Most of them were convicted on charges of murder and rape. Prison officials are still working to notify their victims. Their release comes after a recent court ruling saying their good behavior behind bars helps cut their life sentence. When they were convicted, a life sentence was only considered 80 years. Governor Bev Perdue is blocking the release. She defied a court order to release 20 inmates next week. Barry Holcomb and Tommy Yancey are 2 of the names recently added to the prison release list. Holcomb is from Yadkin County. He was convicted of first-degree murder. Yancey is from Alamance County. He was convicted of rape. If the prisoners are released, that would bring the total to 9 violent criminals back on the streets in the Piedmont area. Here's a look at more on that court ruling. Earlier this month, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of prisoner Bobby Bowden. He argued that a 1970s state law defines life as 80 years of jail time. Once you add in time credits for good behavior, his sentence decreased dramatically. Reports have found that the original 20 prisoners scheduled to be released racked up more than 250 infractions. Local sheriffs say they're prepared to keep an eye on them if they are released, but even with that,
you can never feel safe, and I know that sounds very negative or whatever, but you should always be aware of your surroundings. You teach your children to be the same thing. You should know who's living in your neighborhood.
Attorney General Roy Cooper says he wants to see how the Department of Corrections calculated time off for good behavior before he releases the inmates. Well, people continue to gather at a makeshift memorial to remember Summer Thompson. Someone killed the little girl from Orange Park, Florida, taking her as she walked home from school on Monday. Her father lives in Graham. Both he and her mother wait for a break in the case. Tracy Jassim is following the story for us tonight.
Investigators say they are all done collecting evidence here at this vacant home on Gano, where witnesses say they last saw little Summer Thompson running to. They have officially turned the home back over to its owners. All that's left here tonight is this dumpster full of remnants from when investigators were collecting evidence, a reminder of the awful crime that may have happened here. Hannah Montana balloons, Summer's favorite color purple, and the word justice. While investigators investigate, people who live in Summer's neighborhood feel the need to do something.
We're looking for justice now.
Lines of cars, donations, a procession line from the home of Summer Thompson's mom, Dina, as she walks across the road just after 7 to this memorial, to this crowd of supporters and justice seekers.
I don't have anything new to tell y'all. We still don't know anything, but these detectives, excuse my language, are busting their asses to find it, because it's an it.
Organizers say tomorrow night will be the last candlelight vigil here.
I can't believe the support I've been given. And
time for the children here to try to move forward, they say.
This is our street and this is our kids, and somebody's messed with our kids.
Time for the adults here to try to facilitate them.
They all walk straight down here to the 4-way stop and hang a left, and you go to about to the end, and that's where the school is.
Time for this family to get answers.
Today's been a really hard day.
From investigators who earlier today showed their determination.
Here's a small child that was attacked by an evil person. Not that other cases are not as important. I don't want to make one versus the other. But we have to find this evil person.
Great, you'll never know.
Investigators say all the evidence collected at this vacant home, as well as from the landfill where Summer Thompson's body was found, is in a Jacksonville lab as we speak, being processed, while the community here, and maybe even the nation, waits for word on who the killer is.
Summer Thompson will be buried on Tuesday in a private graveside service, but there will be a public viewing Monday night and a public memorial service Tuesday before her burial. Well, in your economy report, Alamance County is seeing the promise of brighter days. Officials are hiring 11 new employees. Each one of the jobs were approved in July, along with the county's budget plan. County leaders say they still have to be conservative, though. The Human Resources Director says the jobs are necessary for the county to function.
We would hope that by hiring people who are really excited to be here, that they're able to in turn turn around and provide great services to the public.
Alamance County encourages people to check their job listings online every week. Commissioners may open up more jobs that were on a permanent freeze. Well, Alamance County isn't the only one that's hiring. We found current job postings on county government websites in our area, including a social worker job in Randolph, nurse and pharmacy specialist in Guilford, and an environmental health specialist in Rockingham County. Well, a local nightclub gets its alcohol license suspended. North Carolina's ABC Commission revoked Music City's rights to serve alcohol. It says the amount of violent crimes played a huge role in their decision. The Greensboro Police Department has been called out to Music City on a number of instances. The latest one was in April. A 22-year-old man was stabbed. The ABC board also accuses the club of serving underage drinkers. Well, a Grimsley High School teacher is charged with 2 counts of taking indecent liberties with a student. Police say Stanley Jones III was allegedly involved in 2 separate incidences, both of which happened earlier this month. Jones teaches social studies at the school. The school's website also says he's an assistant coach for the boys basketball team. He was released from Guilford County Jail yesterday afternoon. Police in Danville, Virginia have arrested a suspect in connection to a deadly shooting. 18-year-old Quishana Woods is facing a felony charge for use of a firearm. Last night, authorities were called out to an address on Madison Street. They found 3 victims suffering from gunshot wounds. One of them was a 14-year-old boy. He died shortly after arriving at the hospital. The other 2 victims are expected to be okay. A crime alert out of Alamance County, where Burlington police are investigating a shooting. It happened earlier today at an apartment complex off North Church Street. Wallace Bellyfield told police a man walked up, pulled out a gun, and shot him in the hand. Burlington police are now looking for that shooter. He was last seen running into an apartment at Terrence Apartments. Well, Greensboro police are looking for a bank robber who struck twice in 1 week. Now they're offering a cash reward for information that leads to an arrest. This is a picture of the suspect. The first robbery happened Wednesday afternoon at First Citizens Bank on Randleman Road. Witnesses say a man walked in and handed the teller a note demanding money. It happened again yesterday at a BB&T on Westchester Drive in High Point. Police do think the same man robbed both banks. Well, new tonight, highway patrol officers are looking for the driver who hit and killed a bicyclist, then took off. It happened earlier tonight on Church Street, just north of 150 in Guilford County. Authorities are looking for a silver Dodge Durango. They say the vehicle will likely have heavy damage to the windshield area. You're asked to call Guilford County Crime Stoppers if you know anything about this case. Well, a silver alert has been issued for an Alamance County man. Authorities say Hugh Clark left his home in Mebane yesterday afternoon around 2 o'clock. He hasn't been seen since. Clark is about 6 feet tall, has gray hair and blue eyes. He was last seen wearing a gray shirt and navy pants. He drives a gold 1997 Lincoln Town Car with North Carolina plates VNP 1497. President Obama is stepping up the fight against H1N1, also known as swine flu. He's declaring a national emergency. Now hospitals have permission to move emergency rooms off-site to help speed treatment and recovery of patients who are infected. Shelby Lynn has more.
The White House announced President Obama has signed a proclamation declaring the H1N1 outbreak a national emergency. The government says the move allows hospitals to waive certain federal requirements, better equipping them to handle a surge in cases. Meanwhile, long lines for people trying to get the vaccine for H1N1. This was the scene in Central Florida early Saturday at a free clinic set up for those wanting to get vaccinated. This week it was confirmed a 13-year-old girl from the area died from H1N1. One man said he's making an effort to remain calm.
I've been trying not to be paranoid about it, but yeah, be aware and be cautious, be safe.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention admit production of the vaccine has fallen short.
We share the frustration of people who have waited online or called a number or checked the website and haven't been able to find a place to get vaccinated.
About 11 million doses nationwide are now available to the public. Health officials report at least 1,000 H1N1 patients have died. Well, still to come, a street in downtown High Point is closed after a building starts crumbling away. And legal marijuana may get snubbed out after the break. We'll explain where and how it could put some people out of business.